creative friends, it's Gwen and I'm back today on a mission. I don't do a lot of mixed media projects, but when I do, I really like to use the Faber-Castell whipped spackle. The problem I have though is whenever I go to use it, the jar is dried up. So I'll buy some, I might use it once or twice for a couple of things, I'll store it in my craft space, and then the things that are beautiful in Queensland, the heat and the humidity just dries it all up. I go to use it a few months later and it's all unusable. So when I went to purchase my latest jar, because I did have something in mind that I wanted to work on, firstly I couldn't find any of the whipped spackle. I'm not sure whether that's a supply chain issue or what. I did find this substitute from the Crafters Workshop, and I think it might be better. It has quite a similar texture to the whip spackle, but to me it's less dry. The whip spackle, even like when the jar is brand new, isn't very wet, which I actually like because then it doesn't warp the paper. But the problem with that is that it dries out more quickly. So this did start out a little more liquidy, I guess is the right word. The other thing is that it comes in a very small jar. This jar is 2 ounces, so 59 ml. And I've decided today that I am going to use it or lose it. I'm going to use the whole jar. There is no way that this little jar of modelling paste is going to go to waste. I've pulled out all of the stencils that I have in my collection. I've got my palette knife. I also pulled out a bunch of tags that I had. Some of them I had run through my Sizzix machine and pre-cut with a die. Others are just pre-made for you tags that I've picked up from the stationery shop. I've also pulled out quite a few sheets of just plain white cardstock, and I'm going to sit down for as long as it takes and I'm going to use up this entire jar. Now, if you don't know, I'm really not that into mixed media. I don't do a lot of it. I don't like things that are messy. So this was a little bit horrifying because it did get very messy very quickly. I did try and contain the mess quite a lot. And I've just chosen, I made sure to choose things that I know I'm going to be able to use on upcoming projects. So I didn't go crazy with any of the stencils that I used. Not that I actually have any that are that crazy. I'm just trying to think very middle of the road, very generic things that could be used on lots of different projects in the future. I also stuck with really neutral colors. So yeah, lots of white on white, a couple of pieces on craft, and then I think there was some pink that I used as well because pink to me is a neutral, and I just worked piece by piece until I had used up all of it. I have decided to go with the tags for a couple of reasons. Mainly though, I find that they give a very clean look. Like I really enjoy clean mixed media, so I want to contain the mess. And I can do that on a tag no matter what happens with the ink or the paint or anything that I apply over this texture paste. The edge of the tag will always be the edge of the tag and will always be nice and straight and neat. I hope that makes sense. And the other good thing about doing it this way is that I can position it on my layout or my projects wherever I want. I do struggle with knowing where the mixed media is going to go. Like those creatives like Sue Plum, who just puts her mixed media down first and then like creates her page on top of it. Blows my mind because I never really know where the page is going to go in terms of design. So then I can't figure out where the mixed media should go so that it fits on the layout. So yeah, so I thought, here's the thing. I thought if I make tags, I can reposition the tags anywhere that I like and they will fit with my layout anywhere that I like, and as a bonus they'll have lovely, neat, tidy, straight edges. So I'm still going to have my mixed media elements, but it's going to be in a way that's sort of much more my style. And look at me being brave. I was actually trying to get some texture on there. To be honest, I'm not really a big fan of those ones. They're a bit too messy for me. I much prefer the ones that I used through the stencils, because even the lines within the stencils I made really neat and tidy. I also did add a little bit of extra of the modeling paste on this tag. I don't mind how this one turned out. I think it's okay. I think this next one I just got a bit heavy-handed with it. So you know what? I was feeling quite brave this day. It was a little bit of caution to the wind, because I was kind of feeling like, well, normally this stuff all just dries up and I don't get to use it anyway. So even if I did try a technique on a tag and it didn't work out, well, I didn't feel like it was still going to get wasted, right? If I didn't use it. So if it didn't work out on the tag, no big deal, move on. Oh, that's right. Did you see that? Totally used the stencil the wrong way up. Did not realize until it was done. I don't know whether that matters. I feel like it did. I feel like it went on smoother when I had the stencil the right way up. But it was dirty, so why not make a second tag? I didn't really want to wash it twice. And these ones actually were some of my favorites. This floral mask is really, really pretty. And I did cream on with the white. I did the pink with the white, and I did white on white. That's the other thing I did as well, because I knew I was using a few of the masks, and I actually like to keep my masks nice and clean. I just had a big bucket to my right, and once I knew I had done enough of the tags using that stencil, I would then just pop the stencil into the water and let it sit there. And then once I had done all of the work that I was going to do on this day, I then took that bucket to the laundry and gave everything a good wash. So it was at this point that the container was about half full, and I thought, oh, I haven't actually started on any backgrounds for layouts, so I better get onto that. I did find this stencil here, really like this one because the edges fade away. So it does look like you've been a bit messy and a bit casual with how you've put the modeling paste through the stencil. But that's just how it is. I can be as particular as I like, and I like to be particular with it. But then it gives the look that the edges are faded out. I really, really like this one, and I'm actually going to use, I think this might be one of the first ones that I use. I do want to add, I think, some Distress Oxide on top to kind of bring out the texture. My only concern with that is that I haven't put any clear gesso on the background, and I'm thinking that might have been a rookie mistake. So I'm not sure if I can add clear gesso over the top now or not. Let me know in the comments. If you know more about mixed media than I do, which would not be hard, could you let me know? Is it too late now to add the clear mix, like the clear gesso, or can I add it now and it would still work? If it is too late, I think what I will do is that brush technique that I just found. I will leave a link to that video up here somewhere. I have just discovered, I'm new to this, that you can use a little brush to brush on the Distress Oxide. And I feel like that would work even without the clear gesso. And did you see how much I have left? I'm getting there. It's getting emptier. I also found this stencil, and it is really, really thick. So it adds quite a lot of dimension, but it also meant that it used up quite a lot of the paste. I did also use my T-square ruler there just to position it on the background. There are lines, it's like XO in lines. And I knew that it would bug me if those lines weren't straight, especially, it's probably not that noticeable like at this point on the page, but when I go to add my photo, if my photo is straight and then those lines are be crooked, it would look really not good. That would just do my head in a little bit. So I did make sure that everything was nice and straight on my background. I also did this one again as like a 2-section. Actually, I think I ended up with 3 sections. Yeah, I want to kind of use that as the base of the page. This is sort of what I was meaning earlier when I was talking about Sue. It's like, how do I know where to place it? And how do I know how like what kind of area to cover on the background of the page. Anyway, we'll see. If it works out, great. If it doesn't, then that's not the end of the world, right? Okay, so we are definitely getting down to the end of the jar. So I've gone back to some smaller tags. I was concerned at this point with just how much I had left. I want to use it all up, but I don't want to get halfway through spreading the stencil and then run out, which is kind of what happened here because that stencil, that one is really, really high. So yeah, it just used up so much more of the paste than I imagined. So I thought that's okay. I will just cover some of the tag and we can all pretend that it was meant to be. And then desperate times called for desperate measures. I actually cannot believe I stuck my finger in the jar. I wanted to get out all of it. Do you know what? I was a mess at that point and I'm never a mess. And I thought, you know what? Once this jar is used up, I have enough of this mixed media stuff done for the next 6 months. So in for a penny, in for a pound, went all in. I got it all out. I don't even know who I am anymore. But anyway, it's done. I'm so happy. I'm going to share with you in a moment all of the pieces that I made in this one sitting. So here's a look at the empty jar, and here are all the things that I made. I would absolutely recommend this. I am going to do this again, but not for a while, but I will do it again because I feel like this could really work for me, and I feel like I might be more likely to include elements like this on my layouts if they're pre-done, if I've made all the messiness and done all of that all in one sitting and then got that nice and cleared away. Then when I've got my pretty papers and things pulled out, I can just add them more easily. Thank you so much for being here, my creative friends. Up next, I have a video that is stamping when you're not a confident stamper. So I am not a confident stamper and I did get brave and create with some stamps. I think you'll enjoy that one and I will leave a link to it for you here. I'll see you all in the next video. Until then, bye.